Hello and welcome back to my craft room. If you're new here, I'd like to welcome you to my channel. My name is Yvette Quale and I like to create craft tutorials for junk journaling, beadwork, paper crafting, and more. I also like to do completed journal flip-throughs, shop shares, and much more. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you a completed journal. That will be the big sister over here on the right, and then I'll be doing a little bit of work in the little sister. So this is the second set in a series of journals I'm calling the Boho Sisters, and I completed the first set. Someone has purchased that, and I was contacted by a second person inquiring if the set was available, and it had already sold, so I was commissioned to make another set. So that's what this is. The idea behind this was to create a journal that you could keep one and you could give one to your sister, your best friend, your mother. I call them Boho Sisters because one is a little bit bigger, has more signatures, the other one's a little bit smaller. This would also be a great gift idea if you're into journaling and someone you know is curious about it but really hasn't started. You could get them started with a little sister journal, kind of get them introduced to journaling. So I've used several different things here. I'm going to set the little sister aside while we concentrate on the big sister for a moment. And see if I can pull my camera up just a little bit here. Okay, and then I have used several digital kits in here as well as found items, gifted items, different things. So I have digital kits from Rach and Bella Crafts, Nevermorecreations17.com, Elsie Bell's Bookshelf, Amity Bloom. I'm sure I've forgotten someone because I just kind of pulled items that were of the theme rather than, you know, a particular group. So I have various Happy Mail gifts or swap items that I've participated in Facebook groups. So you might see some things in there that either you partially created or that was a lace swap or something like that. And I also have a lot of images from Ephemera Treasure Trove, which is a Facebook group. And she posts different kits that she has available that you can purchase and pay with PayPal, and they come to us from the country of Malta. So let's go ahead and get into this journal. And maybe if we can get this off easily, I didn't want to pick the whole thing up. So as you can see, the covers on both of these journals are, well, let's start with the tassel first here. So get that out of the way, I think. So that is a Dreamcatcher tassel that I've made. And I started out with this ring, which is a ring from hanging curtains. So I covered that in fabric, left the fabric hanging in the back. I did the little bit of weaving here to make the dream catcher. There's some amethyst in the middle there. And then I covered that on the back in cardstock so that you could see the netting and everything a little better. I have some dangles here that I've made with the, beaded dangle. And there's amethyst, aventurine, quartz, pearls, tiger eye, just a whole bunch of different stuff on there. So there's our Dreamcatcher tassel. I'm going to set that aside. And we're going to go ahead and open up the journal. Again, let me try to lift my camera up here just a little bit. Sorry about that movement. There we go. Okay, so on the cover here you can see that I've pieced together and I've hand stitched down all of the fabric on the cover. This is a 5 signature sewn in, and the whole back, as you can see, has some detailed stitching on there. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that for a moment as we come around to the front again. All along the top here and all along the side, all the way down, you can see that I've done some hand beadwork on there. So what I did was a blanket stitch and then applied the beads over the top of that. If you guys are interested in how I did that, I can do a future tutorial for that. Just let me know in the comments. And I've had a lot of people asking me how I attached the material and how I did the cover. So basically I took a piece of like a comforter, a quilted comforter, and I used that as the base, and I stitched down the pieces as I went along. Then I cut it to the size that I needed, And then as you can see here, I've just wrapped the material around. I reinforced the spine here down the middle, put a piece of fabric all along in here. And then I have chipboard that I've covered in cardstock for the cover inside here, because this was bulky and there was an indentation here from where the chipboard is. So I have the chipboard base on the cover, and then I put the piece of pieced together material over the top of that, and then I've glued and stitched it around. But then because this is kind of bulky, it's left a little void in there, so I put a piece of chipboard on there, covered it, and then it makes a flatter surface. I also did that here down the spine, as you can see, so that when I sew the signatures in, they're sewn into something really sturdy. So that's through 2 pieces of chipboard there. And like I said, if you guys want detailed breakdown on any of this, just let me know in the comments, and I will certainly try to do a video on that. So let's go ahead and get started here. This is our inside cover, and I've got a little ephemera piece here from a Tim Holtz kit, Tim Holtz butterfly here. I have a little piece just that I collaged up, did a little stamping on the inside for a journal spot. I've got some buttons down the side here. This is fabric trimmed out in sari silk. This background is a coffee dyed paper that I received as a Happy Mail, which is really cool. It looks like she used like a tablecloth or something to do that. And then I put a vellum sticker over the top of that. I did a blanket stitch around it, attached my beads to the blanket stitch, and it has a nice little journal card. So we're going to pop that back in the front here. This is a kit from Nevermore Creations, part of her boho kit. Sari silk trim here with a bow on the bottom. This is a little metallic pocket that I've made. This is a journal card from an Amity Bloom kit. All of the stitching around here is hand-drawn stitching. So I like to do doodles, as some of you know. Here we have another one of the digital kits. And there's also Mixed Media Minnesota in here, some of her digital kits. So yeah, I'll try to put a link to all of the, if I can't find the kit, I'll at least put a link to the shops that I use. So this is Amity Bloom here. I did some random stamping on the back and then put a piece of tea dyed paper. Over here I have a piece of beat dyed paper with a little tab that I made. This is my friend gave me this little stapler, and it does little decorative things, so that's kind of cute on there. Trimmed it out on the other side with a little bit of bling. This was a Happy Mail from Deborah, this little wax seal here, and she blinged it up a little bit, so I stuck that on there and then just made a journal card out of it. This is avocado dyed paper there, and I've just attached that with a little clip, binder clip. Over here I took a piece of sari silk, just ran a piece of cotton thread up through it, pulled it and gathered it up, and then just tied it off and stitched it, or glued it down. And I used Fabri-Tac glue on almost everything. So down here I did a little collage on a pocket that just holds a little piece of nature themed stationery. As we turn through the pages here, this is an Elsie Bell's bookshelf page. I have a little fabric flip here. This is one of the things with Ephemera Treasure Trove group on Facebook. It's blinged out here with a little bit of bling I got from the Dollar Tree, as you can see here. I just thought it was a great little trim on there on a boho journal. Did a little bit of stenciling on here. And then I came to this page, and my first thought was to make a pocket. So I was just going to pull this over, make a pocket. But then I thought, well, I'll fold this in. I like to do folded pages and hidden spots in journals. So when I did that, then I thought this kind of looked weird with this paper over here. So I just tucked this over, tucked that down, pulled it over, and made a little tuck spot here. So I like that much more. It's like a secret little journal spot there. So I thought that was kind of fun. And then here I have an envelope that I have glued down. I glued down on the side here, and over here. And then here's a little tip for you if you're new at journal making. so that you don't have to make a tag that goes all the way down. What I did was somewhere in here, I just ran a bead of glue when I was gluing that envelope down. I ran a bead of glue underneath there at about this point so that that doesn't go down any further. So I made this little journal card here, did some hand doodling on the back, and that just tucks in the top here. The envelope is collaged up here with some cardstock, some material, a little bit of that bling. Got a couple heart cutouts that I've done some hand-drawn stitching on, a couple buttons, a little butterfly image, and then this envelope flap just tucks in there. And then inside we have a little journal card that I've made out of a Rolodex card. So I just kind of blinged that up, did a little stenciling on there, a little layering, and that tucks right back in there, and that tucks right back into there. So as we go through, you'll just see lots of trim, lots of spaces for journaling, little pocket here that I've got some lace on. Let me pull that up so you can see that. Hangs out the bottom there. And then I just did a little journal card there. So I tried not to bulk up the journal, put a lot of fluff on the journal cards because it makes it too stiff, and this is already getting a little bit big, but that's, alligatory, but that's okay in a boho journal, I think. So this, I did the sari silk, and then I just went ahead and put a little bit of that trim over the top. I like how that turned out. Except it catches on my beads. All right, then we turn the page here, and did a little stenciling up here, a little vellum sticker over there, and then up here I have a little clip, and it just holds, this just folds out, and so again, that's just, I kind of tuck those together, and I haven't really done that in another journal, so I liked how that effect was, so I did that a couple times. You'll see little vellum sticker on there. This is from Melody Made, one of her boho kits, and I did a little bit of collaging on here, and a little journal card there, and that is the name of this kit, Authentic Soul. Here is a little piece of ephemera. It's actually a magazine page that I had, so I backed it in cardstock and made a little belly band out of it. And then we have a journal card here that just tucks in there. And again, another fold out of tea-dyed paper. There's the other side of that collage page. And then here I just like this trim, so and again, this is a piece of magazine. So I just cut that out, put a little washi tape behind it, and stuck it on there for a trim page. Up here I have another one of our fold-out pages with a little spiral clip and a journal card, and then these just fold out so that you have lots of journaling space in there. So I like journals to have a lot of detail, but I also like them to have a lot of space to actually be used as a journal. So I think that's fun. All right, let's turn the page here. This is actually a trim off of, it's over there. Hold on. Sometimes the trim likes to interfere with the other trim. So this is a trim that I took off of a lace blouse that I had, and it had a little bit of trim on there. So I just left it rough. I like that. I think it looks great in a boho journal. This is again from Melody's kit here. And then I've just put an envelope here again with a tuck spot down here for the flap of the envelope. And then I did a journal card on an index card and just collaged it up. I put lace down, collaged it all up, did some hand sewn stitching around it, and some stenciling on the back. So that's just tucks right in here. This comes down, and then that tucks right in there. So just a lot of different pages. This again was in a Happy Mail here. And there, a little bit of trim. just a couple things that you can put wherever you like in the journal. I've included a card here, the postcard. I live at the Oregon coast, and this is not very far from where I live, so just put that in there. Thought that was a nice touch since it's going to someone else. And got a couple of little images here that you could put anywhere you want. They're not backed or anything, so those would be great to just kind of do your own thing and put wherever you like in the journal. And again, a lot of space for writing, a little bit of stenciling here. And then this likes to stick to the sorry silk fray, but I like that frayed feel. This is a little flip up that I've made here. Again, just a lot of room for adding your own little touches. Magazine page there. I did a little magazine page like a pocket here, and another layered up card with some stenciling on the back. So yeah, like I said, this is a 5 signature, and the little sister is a 2 signature. So this page just says make today a great day, and I just layered everything up. These are some digital kits. There's some page from a magazine, a little bit of cardstock, a little bit of die cut from a Happy Mail. So I just put those in there. I thought that was a fun little collage page. And then here again is another digital stickers. A little piece of fabric that you could put anywhere you like. Tucked into that pocket there. This is a jelly print from Melody Made. A little flip spot there that I stapled at the top. Collaging. Little tuck spot here for some journal cards, again on a Rolodex card that I made. That one, and there's this one. Just left some space for writing, and you could do whatever you want with this. So there's spaces that are, you know, the person who's going to get this can add their own little touches as you go along journaling, kind of the idea behind that. So again, here's another little idea for a hidden space to journal in, and I'm really liking that. I'm glad that happened by accident. So here I have this is a piece of beadwork that I've made, and I've had it for a while. I was a long time ago if it was going to do something else with it, but it kind of looks to me like, you know, dirt and mountains and a sky. So I thought that was just a fun thing to put in there. And then here's a journal card there. So I've got that tucked on at the top there with a clip, and maybe the receiver can do something fun with that. I was going to frame it and put it as a wall decor, but I don't know. So on the back here is a pocket that is made out of a piece of lace. And then I've got a little journal card in there, actually a big one. And here's another image from Ephemera Treasure Trove that I got, which I thought went really well in a boho journal. And this is a pocket that I've made out of a calendar. So this was a day planner calendar from a couple years ago that my friend said, hey, these images are really pretty, could you use those? So she gave it to me, and these were actually in a 3-ring binder, so they had holes in them and they were a little bit wider. So I just cut it down, I glued the edges around, and then I stitched around it, did some hand stitching, and then I made this little journal card here. It just pops in there. So that goes in the back there, tucks right into that pocket. And then that's the end of that journal. So let's go ahead and get started. I don't want this video to be too long, but I'm having fun, so I'm just going for it. So here's the little sister. And I'll do a complete flip through of her when she's done, but there's the general idea of what she's looking like so far. And in the front here, I just have a piece of rice paper that I've put a butterfly on. I've got an image there from Ephemera Treasure Trove, and this was so beautiful. I just left it like it was, put that right in there. Again, this is chipboard. It's the same basic way that I made the bigger sister. So I'm not going to flip through real quick. I'm just going to get to the page that I'm thinking about doing today. Somewhere here. So as you can see, I'm in the process here. So what I was thinking about for this page was to go ahead and on camera just kind of decorate up a page. So I have this digital kit, and I do not remember where this is from, but I will find it out and get back to you with that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in about an inch here all the way around, just kind of glue it. Well, I mean, I'm not good at measuring. That's maybe, yeah, half an inch. I know, I'm terrible. So we're going to just go around a little bit here. I just want to make this not quite so wide. And what I'm going to do is make a pocket there. And I glued the wrong side actually. So I'm going to put it on this side. Like this. Okay. And then this edge over here is just open. So probably what I'm going to have to do now. Don't you love it? I had it all planned out. Not all, but you know, somewhat. Let's just cut a little, or punch a little tab in that part right there before I glue it down. Okay, so I've glued down 3 sides of it. My plan was to be on this side, but I'm over here now and I'm okay with that. So I have pre-cut out some things. This is from a digital kit, and I think I'm actually, what I did with this was I put it on cardstock so it's a little thicker, and then I covered it in paper, and I kind of like that the cardstock had lines in it. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I like how that kind of, it looks like very faint lines on there. So I think I'm going to do some hand stitching around that, and then I'll tuck that into the pocket here. This is also from a digital kit. So I'm going to glue this down on these 3 sides and make a pocket out of that. So we have a pocket coming on the side, and then we have a pocket on the face of that. So again, let's make sure we're gluing the right sides this time. And again, I just used my Fabric Tac glue and go along there. And then we'll just, I always hate covering up part of the image, but it has to happen if you want to layer. So you'll get used to it if you're not. So I've cut out a few of these little pages. These were from part of Ephemera Treasure Trove goodie box or goodie bag that I got. So what I did, put these again on cardstock. These are like a magazine, and I put them on cardstock, covered them on the back with paper of various kinds. And I thought I would just make, you know, a little tuck spot here, but I want to do a little bit of stitching around there. So I'm going to grab my needle here, and I don't know that I'll do all of them, but I like to do a little bit of hand stitching. So people have asked me, I have a video already on how I do my hand stitching, but I don't poke the holes or anything. I just take a needle with a sharp point on it. Ow, that is sharp. And I go down just a little bit. I don't even know how much that is. I'm terrible at measuring. So let me put my cap on my glue. And I leave a tail, and I don't always start in the middle. I did here, but just start wherever. And then I just go around, poke it through from the back to the front, and that's how I make this kind of stitch. So as you're going along there, that's how I do it. Now when I get all the way around, I'll just tie that off and maybe add some lines on the back or something for journaling. So it just all depends on the mood I'm in at the moment, what exactly I do. So and this thread that I'm using, you can use embroidery floss, you can use cotton thread. That's what this is. And I just found this, let me grab it here. I just found this big ball of cotton thread. It was in a big bag of stuff that I got, craft stuff that I got at Goodwill. So it's served me well, and I don't use it to tie in signatures. It's a little bit not sturdy enough. I use more, I don't even know what it is. I know it's an embroidery thing, but I'll show you here. Grab my little bag. So it comes in these little bobbins like this, and it's a little bit sturdier thread. So that's what I use for sewing in my signatures, because I don't, my personal thing is I don't do well with embroidery floss when tying in my signatures. It tends to be too bulky. You have to have too many strands to get it to stay in tight. So, and I like my signatures to be pretty tight. So we're just going around here, and once in a while I get a knot, once in a while I poke myself in the finger. These are all things that happen in the craft room, right? So if you guys haven't subscribed to my channel, I hope that you would consider doing that. I'm about 50 people away from 500, and I will have my next giveaway at that point. And I also would like comments on what you guys would like to see. So as you know, well, maybe you don't know. Now you will. I have my little grandson that's staying with us, him and his parents, and they're living with us because it's very hard to find a rental in our area. And he's 1 year old. He just turned a year old. So I kind of work around Ryder's schedule. He kind of dictates what a lot of us do and when. So, yeah, I haven't had a whole lot of time lately to do a video, and today everybody was doing something else. So I was able to get in here and get a video done. So I'm excited about that. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And as soon as we're done here, I'm going to tuck this in and wrap this video up and call it a done deal. Not a done day. I'm still going to craft. So yeah, if you guys want to know how I made the cover, please comment, or anything, whatever. I love to receive comments. I love to comment back. And I'm just really trying to grow my channel and just have fun crafting and helping other people craft. So any questions that are reasonable and respectful, I don't mind answering. Okay, so what we're going to do here at the end is pull that through if possible. And then I just come around and I just tie it off. And I leave the threads hanging because I like the look of it. So you could add beads on the end, you could add a button on the end, you could add a little bit of trim. But that's basically what's going to go in there. I'm just going to make a couple of those and tuck those in randomly into that pocket. And then this one I'll also stitch around that, maybe put a tab on there. One other thing I have planned, I don't know where I'm going to put this, but this is from Amity Bloom. I love the bright colors in it, and I'm just going to make a belly band out of that. So don't know where that's going to go. Stay tuned, and I will do a complete flip through of the little sister as soon as she is done. And again, if you have any questions, please leave it in the comment. I would love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.